All right, good afternoon. It's about 4 o'clock on the 27th of November. Continuing work in the boot area. My intention tonight, I think, is to finish up putting in the strengthener plate over here. And getting, more importantly, actually, I think, is getting that inner wheel well sorted out. I've got the piece of the black car that I cut out. I don't know how much of that is left, and it's good, but I'm going to take a look at that. I still got to go. I got to remember to bring the grinding wheel home, or the cutting wheel tonight, so I can cut out this portion of the black car. And I'll take a look at getting this sorted with the old one. I'm not sure here if probably not really worth saving that thing. I'll have to figure out how to do the captive nuts, but that should be relatively easy. I may just trace out a new one of these and cut it. So that's pretty bad. And just continue on. So I still have some welding to do here, and if I can get there, I'll start looking at trimming up and getting the bottom of the wing patch in. This guy right here, get him, see if I can get him fit up there, and see how far I get. So as I'm fond of saying, it is a school night, so I got to go to work tomorrow, so not incredibly late this evening, but we'll see how it goes. All right, 5 o'clock update. I got lucky somewhat and was able to scavenge this part off of the black car bottom that I'd cut off. Typically here, as I kind of did with the black car on a couple occasions, didn't really know the larger picture, so I made some cuts on the black car that I probably should not have made, or should have thought about before I made them where I did. Anyway, so you can see this little hole right here lines up with that little hole right there, and then the little cutout down there is going to line up down here. So that's going to essentially fit in like that, and it doesn't fit very well. Unfortunately, it doesn't come up that high. And what I think I'm going to have to do is address this entire inner wheel well before I just try to patch the thing. So I think I'm going to kind of go for it here and just cut all of this stuff out. I'll look at the back here and see where the best places to cut that stuff out is. And if I determine that I can't manufacture that, it doesn't look too horribly complicated, I'll just wait to get the black car, because I am going to cut that part out of the black car anyway. But I kind of have done my damage down there on the black car, so there may be I may be in trouble with trying to save the inner well and maybe even the outer, so I'm not too sure yet. Anyway, so that's where I'm going to continue on, and if I get to the point where I'm going to get stuck and kind of afraid to keep going until I look at the black car a little closer, I think I'm going to start to assess the bottom of the boot floor here and see how I want to tackle that mess of rust and everything else. I have a couple ideas, but we'll see which way I go. So there it is. Cheers. Nope, no cheers. I'll be back. All right, doing a little quick pre-dinner update. It's about 6 o'clock. Got a turkey sandwich tonight, so it's the last of the leftovers. A little dicey 4 days later on the turkey, but I'm gonna go for it. Got a pretty strong stomach, so we'll see how it goes for me. Anyway, pretty sure that I'm gonna go ahead with this solution here for the inner wheel well, or the outer wheel well. So I kind of cut this to form here, and then that piece will eventually need to be you know, kind of attached down here. This is going to be a little bit of an interesting repair. Unfortunately, this one loses it at about the same place that the red cars does, Dorothy's. So I'm not too sure that I'm going to be gaining a whole lot there by trying to use that piece, so that wasted an hour of my night. But I'll cut right here, keep it nice and square, and then I'm going to come up and cut along the rust line on the fender well. So it's going to be just on the inside of this line where the fender itself is cut, or the wing, I should say. And then I'm going to have to come with some solution down here, because again, this piece right here and the strengthener should be all one piece. So when I go to meld these together and bring the fender in there, or the bottom of the wing, that's really going to provide an extra piece of metal here, right, you've got just this is going to be made up of 3 pieces here, this joint. So that lower valance, or that rear valance here, the strengthener, and then the bottom of the wing. So if I throw this piece in there and try to sandwich it in there, that's going to add another 20 gauge thickness. So that has got to come out. So I'm going to have to figure out how to attach this to the strengthener and not have the depth of this little flange here. Anyway, so that's the path ahead. But right now I'm going to eat. All right, about 7 o'clock. Update here to show you. This is the first step in the solution for replacing the inner fender, or the fender well. So I've got that guy there. Sorry if the light's a little overpowering. Let me turn this big one off here. I think it's hot. So yeah, this is interesting. So the red piece there, you can see that little strip of red. That's going to be the tack-in piece for the inner wheel well, kind of from the back there a little bit. I'll put the flange piece on separately, and then you move down into here, and I'm not at a solution yet. So that piece that's got the big clamp on it, that's part of the black car, and then it's got a transition here into the bottom there, as you can kind of see. I'll get you a little bit better of a shot. Sorry about all the clamps in the way. So something like that. So I got to fill that big gap down there, obviously, because I don't have any good metal at all left on anything. So the reason I cut the black piece like that is because I still think, because at the when I went to fit that guy up, even though it looks like it's matching the curvature of that pretty well right now, it's not. So I think that my strengthener still should have been kicked out to the outside of the car a little bit. So that little patch up near the fender well was probably a little too thin. Could have been a little wider, so that thing must expand quite a bit more as it comes up. But man, even though it doesn't look like it, I'll tell you that was a hard thing to see. But I'm sure there's some inconsistencies between the two vehicles. But that black piece I would have liked to have used pretty much the whole thing, and I'm not going to be able to. So that's my solution now to try to fill that gap. The rest of the gap there's up there. I don't know if you can see that or not. But the rest of the gap that's up there, I should be able to fill with weld metal. So I'll cut some of that metal away there. I won't make that patch quite that big because I won't really be able to get in there very well with the welder. And then I'm going to tack that guy down. And then I still have to make the solution, like I said, for the flange here. And what I'm going to do there, and then I'm going to get the flange on the edge of the thing. And I'm going to, unlike the other repairs that I've done where the flange I've put on before I attached this piece, I think I'm going to put the flange on with this piece up here, just because everything's so interconnected here. So still a work in progress, but I kind of wanted to show you where I was. And wow, this may not be the right way to do that. Definitely, I'm sure it's not the best, but at the end of the day, if I get that big gaping hole filled in and this bottom of the wing fits, really, I mean, there you go. So wish me luck. All right, everybody, it's about just after 8 o'clock, wrapping it up for the night. So it was one of those nights where I didn't really seem to get a whole lot done, because I guess I didn't, but it was a pretty complicated fabrication, and with the very limited fabrication experience and definitely skills, it was sat around thinking about the best way to do stuff quite a bit. So anyway, you can kind of see this grayish piece in here kind of goes into about here. That's the piece from the black car that I took. Obviously didn't take the whole thing, but took quite a bit and got it pretty close down to the bottom of the taper. That existed there with the metal loss that I had in the black car. I had some problems with the welding for some reason. It wouldn't adhere to the strengthener, but I was blowing through the black car's piece, just probably because of the the age of the metal. Maybe, I'm not real sure. So I stopped kind of welding there in the desire not to make it any worse. But I did get that in, so I'll have to curve this edge a little bit more and then when you put the fender piece up there, if I can hold it up real quick, it doesn't fit real well yet because it's not really cut, but you know, that's pretty rough fit right there, and you can see, I think, inside the fender well, I'll get you a better shot here with a little bit more light, hopefully. You can see how much, no, maybe you can't. Anyways, not a whole lot of metal left in there that I've got to fill in. It's pretty close, actually, to being this part here meeting the fender, the bottom of the wing. So I'll get that done. I got to fit this in and then bring that all down to the bottom there. I'm bringing my cutting wheel home. Going to cut out this section of the outer wing on the black car because I'm not going to try to save the inner fender well anymore. I'm just going to go to town and cut that whole thing out. Hopefully that's not too painful, and try to steal the fender as much as I can. I know I got some problems on that car over in this area, but hopefully that's far enough away that it doesn't make its way back. Otherwise, that's going to be a fun fabrication there. So that's about it. So I'd like to say thank you to Ellen Yakoff, who gave me a shout out on his Facebook page and his website, www.rustybeauties.com. He's got a great site there, and a lot of different projects, a lot of different Triumph projects, not just the Spitfire. He's working a GT6 now. He's got a couple TR6s and stuff like that. So outstanding resource. His videos are great to watch. That's kind of where I started cutting my teeth and what inspired me to do my own here. So thanks again, Ellen. I appreciate it. And if you care to please like the video. Please subscribe if you like to subscribe. And visit my website as well, www.roundtailrestoration.com. I promise that eventually I will update that thing. So have a good rest of the evening. Have a good rest of your week, and enjoy whatever the weekend brings. And hopefully we'll be over here on the weekend. So talk to you soon. Have a good night. Cheers.